Chapter 5: How to Price Your Projects and Get Paid More. When understanding what to charge your clients for different projects, let's start with the difference between fixed rate, aka flat fee, and hourly projects. For an example, let's say I'm hiring you to write my memoir. I'm a hacker turned FBI informant here to share with you why your computer can be the victim of my signature crime, forcing you to use the Microsoft software suite forever. Anyways, when I come to you with my story, I ask, how much will it cost? And to answer that, you, as the freelance writer, need to decide, am I going to charge hourly or a fixed rate fee for this? When to charge a fixed rate fee. Whenever you're thinking about pricing, you need to balance your needs as a freelance writer, paying the bills, working on projects that respect your time and experience, with your clients' needs, receiving something of value, seeing a return on their investment. Some freelancers only pick one payment structure, that is, I go through periods of time where I only do hourly work, and other freelancers apply different payment structures to different types of clients. Fixed rate pricing is very popular for clients who want to know exactly the cost of a project upfront. You should charge a fixed rate fee for projects with super clear deliverables and guidelines. For example, if your client knows they want you to write a 1,000-word article based on a talk the founder gave about how walkable cities cure cancer, I would believe it, that's a great deliverable to do a fixed rate project for. You can quote them a flat fee derived from your hourly rate and include up to 2 rewrites or whatever other stipulations you decide. That work is clear, enforceable with a contract, and you can also estimate how long that project will take to complete even in the worst case scenario. To calculate your fixed rate, I recommend taking your hourly rate, multiplying it times the number of hours you think it will take you, and then add a 30% extra cushion onto the final rate to cover revisions and any unexpected twists or turns in the project. I also recommend you get an upfront deposit before you begin work on a fixed rate project. This is a non-refundable milestone for the first chunk of work you're embarking on, and it should be large enough to cover part of your time spent on the project if your client dips out and doesn't pay you for the second half. I usually do a 50% upfront deposit unless the project is over $15,000. In that case, I break it up into milestones, 1/3 upfront, 1/3 upon deliverable of the rough drafts, and 1/3 upon final revisions. If a project goes beyond the scope of work, meaning if the client wants you to do a bajillion more rewrites or add another deliverable to the job, make sure there is wording in your contract that explains you will charge any additional work at your hourly rate after notifying your client that the work they are requesting is beyond your fixed rate agreement. If you're freelancing on a freelance platform, you're probably working with the existing contract that platform provides. So just make sure you're getting the above in writing when you begin the contract with your client. Otherwise, I highly recommend hiring a lawyer to create a contract template you can use and modify for every new client you take on. Trust me, it's worth the money as soon as you start freelancing off of freelance platforms. Quick template: how to share your project. Quote over email. Just hopped off the phone with a client and need to email them a project quote. Here's a template for you. Hello, client. It was great meeting you today and hearing about client's company and/or project. Here's my proposal for us to start working together. Project name, deliverables, quote, next steps, I bill, billing schedule. To begin, I'll next steps, upfront deposit, contract, etc. Thanks, let me know if you'd like to move forward. Best, your name, when to charge hourly. Charge an hourly rate when you're not entirely sure how long a project will take, or if there's a lot of back and forth revisions and complex aspects to the project. For example, let's say I'm a founder of a grocery delivery company called Trader Jen that doesn't betray their customers by paying drivers living wages and offering shoppers local options to purchase their groceries and trinkets. I want you to help with every aspect of our copy, from the landing page to the email drip campaign. I even want you to write an animated video series showcasing our hero, Trader Jen herself, saving the world from wilted kale and the exploitative side effects of capitalism, both equally as bad. Because I want you to be in meetings and do a lot of work and scattered revisions, you would have a hard time constantly adjusting your quote and project fees. Instead, charge an hourly rate for projects like this. You can even set an hourly cap, that is 20 hours per week, so I know what to expect in terms of billing cycles with you while you're helping me save the world. One bag of groceries at a time. Billing hourly is a great option if you have clients who want to work at their own pace with you and need a flexible option when it comes to their project. This is also great for clients who aren't quite sure what they need. Hourly billing can help focus a client to be as mindful of your time as possible. After all, it's costing them when they aren't. Working on an hourly basis protects you from scope creep and disorganization on the client's side of things. When to create a monthly retainer. If you're doing a long-term project, consider negotiating a monthly retainer. Put simply, a monthly retainer is when your client reserves a certain number of hours per month of your time by paying upfront for that time. Some retainers are negotiated so that your hours are use it or lose it. Any unused hours of your time don't roll over to the next month, and you have to be paid for those hours regardless of whether or not your client needs them. This is what I would recommend because if you're not using a retainer this way, you're just working hourly. Monthly retainers are great because you can know ahead of time how many hours you need to set aside for a project, and you can more accurately estimate how much you're going to make in a month. A taste of stability in an unstable world. You should also stipulate that your client has to give you a 30-day notice if they decide to terminate your retainer. That way you can plan if you need to increase your client outreach if your retainer client decides to bow out. Personally, I prefer package and fixed rate pricing these days. More on packages later, but sometimes opt for hourly-only projects depending on my schedule. I've worked on a retainer once before, and it was nice when I was getting started, but now I prefer the flexibility of canceling hourly contracts if I want to shift to new projects rather than having to wait a whole month to get out of a retainer. At the end of the day, it's all about what you want to optimize for: freedom, recurring income and long-term clients, or new and exciting projects that allow you the ability to work with a variety of clients. Experiment to see what works for you. You might find that your preferences change depending on what your needs are. Later in the book, I'll dive into package pricing and other clever value-based pricing models you can use to land jobs and leverage your talents while giving clients an awesome experience. How to double your income when demand outweighs supply. I started my freelancing career at around $35 per hour and kept increasing my rates with each job from there until I got to my rate of $350 per hour as of the writing of this book. A good rule is that whenever you have more projects than you know what to do with, the universe is telling you to double your rates. Rinse and repeat with every instance you feel overloaded. Unsure if that strategy is going to work? Let's do some math. Let's say I'm a new freelancer and I'm charging $50 per hour and have 5 clients who fill up about 30 billable hours per week. That means I'm making $1,500 every week with my current client load. Now let's say I have 5 more clients who want to hire me. I know I won't be able to handle all 10 of these clients at the moment, but I'd also like to level up. Because I'm at the point where client demand is higher than the supply of my time, I can decide to double my hourly rate. If I double my hourly rate for both my current and new clients, then I may lose 2 current clients and 3 potential clients, which leaves me with 5 current clients. That's the same number I had before. But now I'm charging $100 per hour. So I'm now making $3,000 every week and I'm working the same number of billable hours. And that's how you scale your freelance business without becoming an agency or overloading your workload. As you get better at doing your job and expand the ways potential new clients can find you, you'll continuously get overwhelmed with too much incoming work, which means you can keep raising your rates. No unpaid test assignments. Would you mind doing this super quick test task? It'll help us get to know you. I was working from the dining table of our Airbnb in Venice, Italy, and my freelance business was doing really well. But when this message came in from a potential client, I felt torn. The people-pleasing side of me wanted to complete the unpaid test task they had requested. So I did. And then the client ghosted. No feedback, no response. Until I saw another job post a few days later. The client once again requesting writers to complete a super short unpaid test task. That's when I realized he was putting together his copy based on free work from a bunch of writers on this platform. What an exploitative way to get your web copy written. From that point on, I've never done free work for anyone, ever again. I never begin work until I have a contract and a 50% upfront deposit in place either. Raising your rates solves all your problems. I want to hammer this point home. Raising your rates as a freelancer solves all your problems. Too many clients? Raise your rates and now you'll only have clients that can pay your new rate. Feeling overwhelmed by fast deadlines? Raise your rates by charging a rush fee so you can clear your schedule. Feeling like your clients aren't appreciative of your work? Raise your rates so only people who see and value your skill work with you. The only thing that isn't solved by raising your rates is if you have too few incoming clients. To solve that, you need more experience, a better portfolio, social proof, and more ways for you to find clients and for them to find you. Don't worry, the rest of the book covers all of that, and I'll help you hit the joyful part of your career when you become an in-demand freelance writer so you can work on your terms. I create these voiceovers using Wondercraft AI, a text-to-speech tool that speaks in your voice so you can create more podcasts, audiobooks, and voiceovers, all by just dropping in some text. Use my code SUTO50, SUTO50, or the link in the description below to get 50% off your Wondercraft AI subscription. I get a small commission if you use my code, so thanks for your support. Sending creativity and good writing vibes your way. Amy.